Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I'm here to discuss with you my latest read, Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This novel was published on August 20th, 2013, and I would describe this as a psychological thriller / mystery. And as this library copy says, it has done very well fiscally. I think the first thing I should mention about this book is the format. This book has a typical format with chronological chapters. It also has supplemental material such as online articles, websites, etc. Also, it has the occasional black page to create a certain mood or effect. Now, onto the plot. There is a mysterious reclusive director of horrifying cult films. His name is Stanislaus Cordova, and at the beginning of the novel, his daughter Ashley is found dead in an abandoned warehouse in Manhattan. It is declared a suicide. This is where our main character, Scott McGrath, comes in. He is an investigative reporter, who up until very recently was a very successful reporter, until he decided to dig into Cordova's personal life, which was a move that ruined his career. Scott is naturally skeptical of this death and the Cordova family in general. So he sets out to break the case wide open. Along the way, he is joined by two strangers to go into the dark, deep rabbit hole that is the Cordova family. Now let me tell you briefly about the writing. Marisha Pessl's writing was, coincidentally, very cinematic. She was very good at creating moods and very scenic moments, but I did have some problems with the consistency and the pacing. There were parts in the middle of the book that went on way too long, while the ending felt rushed and choppy, but perhaps Ms. Pessl was being rushed for her deadline and pressured at this time. Who knows? Next, I would like to talk about the characters. We have our main character, Scott McGrath, who I try to imagine as a hard-hitting, no-nonsense investigative reporter. And I say I tried because there were parts in the book where he very easily succumbed to illogical moments. He presented himself as a person driven solely by logic and rationality. Then we have his two sidekicks, Hopper and Nora. They are both young, somewhat inexperienced in life, and very motivated by their impulses and emotions. I think that these characters were intended to kind of be foils of our main character, and they were likable enough. We have several side characters along the way that offer information that's vital to pushing the case forward. The characters that were my favorites and that I found most interesting were the Cordova family. I found them super intriguing, and most of the book I just wanted to know more about them. Funnily enough, they're never really actually present in the novel, but their presence in the novel is so huge. I should mention the setting. This novel is set in modern day Manhattan about 2 years ago. It has a very gritty kind of noir feel to it. My overall thoughts. Overall, this novel was entertaining in a psychological thriller movie kind of way, but it felt kind of short. The premise and the beginning were promising, and the end was satisfying. It was like a sandwich with really good bread, but then slightly disappointing filling. Part of my dislike for the middle parts comes just from personal preference. There are parts in the book that dealt with things that I just am not a big fan of in my fiction. If you'd like to know what it is, but you don't want to be spoiled, I will flash it up on the screen, so look away now. Okay, come back. I also felt like things came very easily in this investigation, which doesn't seem very realistic. People were very willing to help, and they just kept getting break after break after break. Also, as I mentioned before, there were parts in the middle that went on way too long, where at the end was super rushed. Our mystery is summed up in like a couple of pages. He has these realizations based on information that he's had all along, and everything just tidied up too neatly for me. The very end was nice, though. She did a good job of tying the whole book together and the whole idea of this man's movies and works together into the book. Also, I don't know how much this unique format added to the book. I am a sucker for unique formats, but I think this one would have been just as good without it. So I would recommend this book to anyone who is a fan of psychological thrillers. This is a pretty decent one. It was a pretty fast read and had pretty good entertainment value. Even though this book was a middle-of-the-road book for me, the characters and the story kind of stuck with me days after I finished reading it. But this may have been because I experienced this book alongside the great and awesome Jenny from adultishbooks. I think she uploaded her video before I did, but I will leave it linked in the description below. I must say that reading a book with someone is a new experience for me, and I could not have had a better first than Jenny.
Hashtag innuendo?
Well, that's all for this book talk. Look forward to a book review on Vicious by V.E. Schwab very soon, and hopefully that Q&A I promised. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to go over and watch Jenny's book review, and subscribe to Adultishbooks while you're over there. See you soon. Bye.